It was one of those Sunday mornings where the neighborhood looked picture perfect. Freshly mowed lawns, sprinklers misting the air, children's laughter echoing faintly down the block. Everything appeared calm, but beneath the surface, tension always brewed in this HOA community. And at the center of most of it was Karen. She was the kind of HOA president people whispered about but never confronted. She loved the power of telling people what color their shutters could be, how tall their grass was allowed, and which cars were too old to park in the driveway. For years, she had built a reputation of control, one complaint at a time. But no one experienced her hostility more than Marcus. Marcus had lived here for just under 2 years. A tall, composed black man in his 40s, he moved into the neighborhood with quiet dignity, keeping mostly to himself. Neighbors knew little about him, except that he always left early for work and came back late. He carried himself with authority, but he never bragged, never revealed his personal life. Karen, however, had already made up her mind. To her, Marcus didn't fit her vision of the neighborhood. She policed him more than anyone else, leaving notes about his trash bins being an inch too far to the left, scolding him for minor parking, and even once questioning if he really lived there. Marcus never fought back. He simply smiled, thanked her, and went on with his day. But inside, he felt the sting of her prejudice every single time. That morning, Marcus had gone grocery shopping. His trunk was full, his arms heavy with bags of food. He had worked late the night before and was looking forward to nothing more than a quiet day, cooking a hearty meal and watching a game. As he walked up the driveway, bags digging into his palms, he noticed Karen's teenage son, Dylan, leaning against a bike near the sidewalk. Dylan was 16, tall but lanky, with the smirk of someone who'd never heard the word no. "Hey!" Dylan called out, stepping closer. "What you got in the bags?" Marcus didn't slow his stride. "Just groceries." "Cool, I'll take some. We're having a barbecue and Mom said I could grab whatever." Dylan reached for one of the bags like it already belonged to him. Marcus tightened his grip and stepped back. "That's not how it works. These are mine." Dylan's smirk dropped. His tone sharpened. "Do you know who my mom is? She runs this whole neighborhood. You don't say no to us." Marcus exhaled slowly. He didn't want a confrontation. "Listen, kid, I bought these with my money. If you need something, ask your mom to go to the store. That's all I'm saying." But Dylan wasn't used to rejection. His face flushed red as he stomped toward the house. "You'll regret that," he shouted before disappearing inside. Marcus shook his head, muttering to himself. He hoped the boy would just cool off. But within seconds, the front door swung open, and out stormed Karen. Her voice was sharp, cutting through the still air. "Marcus, did you just threaten my son?" Marcus stopped mid-step. He turned, bags still heavy in his hands. "Threaten him? No. He tried to take my groceries. I told him no." Karen's eyes widened with exaggerated outrage, her fingers stabbing the air. "You don't talk to my son like that. He said you scared him. You people think you can just walk around here like you own the place." Those words, "you people," Marcus felt them like a punch to the chest. He closed his eyes for a brief second, gathering his composure. He knew where this was heading. Karen didn't even wait. She yanked her phone from her pocket, holding it high like she was about to deliver a performance. "I'm calling the police. Right now. You're aggressive, you're threatening, and you don't belong here. Let's see how you like it when the cops show up." Her voice carried down the street as she spoke loudly into the phone. "Yes, this is Karen Whitfield, president of the Willow Creek HOA. There's a suspicious man outside my house. He threatened my son and is acting violent. He's got bags, could be hiding something in them. Please come quickly." Marcus stood frozen. He had been here before, not in this exact situation, but he knew the danger of false 911 calls. He had read the headlines. He knew how quickly things could spiral when someone weaponized the police against a black man. But he also knew something Karen didn't, and that knowledge gave him the calmness to stand his ground. By now, curtains had shifted. Porch doors cracked open. Neighbors peeked out, whispering to each other. Some looked at Marcus with pity. others with the same suspicion Karen did. The story was already spreading without words. Karen's at it again. But this time, it looked serious. Marcus didn't flinch. He simply set his grocery bags down neatly by his door and crossed his arms, waiting. Within 10 minutes, the sound of an approaching SUV filled the street. It wasn't a regular patrol car. It was a black unmarked vehicle, sleek and official, the kind of car reserved for higher-ranking officers. Karen straightened up, smoothing her blouse, putting on her best performance face. Dylan peeked from behind her, smirking again, convinced the cavalry had arrived to humiliate Marcus. The vehicle stopped. The door opened. Out stepped two officers, one in uniform, the other in plain clothes. The second man carried himself with an unmistakable presence. Confident, calm, commanding. Marcus smiled faintly, because he knew that man very well. Karen stormed forward, waving her hands dramatically. "Officers, thank goodness you're here. That man?" She jabbed her finger toward Marcus. "He threatened my son, tried to steal from us, and he's being aggressive. He doesn't belong here." The plainclothes officer raised an eyebrow, listening silently. He glanced at Marcus, who stood quietly beside his grocery bags. Then he stepped forward. He reached into his pocket. Slowly, deliberately, he pulled out a badge and held it up for the entire neighborhood to see. Karen's words caught in her throat, because the man standing in front of her, the one she had just accused of being dangerous, suspicious, and unfit to live there, was none other than Marcus Johnson, police commander of the entire city district.